Hello, everyone. I'm Katie Tudor, and today I'm going to be interviewing Travis Phillips. He is a manager at Lopez's Mexican restaurant, and today I wanted to ask him a few questions. So, Travis, what exactly is your job role?
So I am the front of house manager at Lopez Mexican Restaurant, as you said before.
And so, how would you say your job is measured?
So usually the way I gauge to see if I'm doing a good job or if my staff is doing a good job is if I just go to the dining room and I look out and I see everybody with their heads down, and they're talking to their significant other or the person they brought, and they're just having a good time. I know that our service and me and my team were just delivering the same great experience they're used to. So I can just do the eye check and make sure everything is going smooth.
Great. So, what does a typical day look like for you at Lopez?
So a typical day has me coming in about 8:30. I go in, turn on the restaurant, get everything going, check times and temperatures and make sure things were stored correctly, everything is properly labeled, so to make sure all the food is in compliance with any safety or health standards. I'll get my notes ready for the day. I'll prep my notes, sit down with the management team, make sure we're on the same page, make sure they're ready and prepped to all have their ducks in a row. Then we'll get the staff together 15 minutes before the day starts, go over anything from the night before, and then put out any pertinent information going forward. That way they're on the same page as management, and we're kind of have a focus throughout the day that we'll try to hit on.
Great. And so, are there any certain skills that are required to do your job?
So for me, I mean, I lean heavily on my degree from U of H, from School of Hotel and Restaurant Management, but experience really, you just, in my field, you just go from one experience to the next. Each new experience help you grow as a leader, grow as a manager, especially, if somebody had a bad experience, those are the best learning, tools that you can build upon as a manager, because they just give you a new wrinkle on how to maybe handle a situation in the past or even implement a new policy that will make the guests have a better experience.
That's great. And what kind of knowledge and tools do you and other people need to do your job?
So, I mean, Serve Safe is one of the biggest certificates and poli- standards that's in the industry that you have to have as a manager, be Serve Safe qualified. And that takes you from the whole gamut of knowing everything as far as how to handle, store food, temperatures, pathogens, chemicals, everything that you need to know to make sure that you're running a healthy restaurant and making sure the guest is as safe as they can be when they come in and trust you that you're doing everything correctly.
Awesome. And if there's any problems or concerns, who reports to you? And then if you cannot figure it out or help them, who do you report to?
So usually I have the entire staff, servers and bussers, report to me. Also a few managers, and if when I need to report to somebody or take it up the chain, I will go straight to the owners and present anything to them. The owners will take it from there and go to vendors, and if I need to order something or get a new part or a new piece of equipment, they handle any type of big issues like that.
Awesome. And so, how large is Lopez's Mexican restaurant, and exactly how many people do y'all staff?
So we have two restaurants now. We opened up our second one in June. Between the two stores, we have about 140, 150 employees.
So, being a manager at Lopez, what exactly are you responsible for?
So for me, being primarily a front of house manager, I am just in charge of making sure that the policies and procedures, and we're upholding the Lopez promise on a daily basis. Also making sure the servers and the bussers, bartenders, everybody that delivers a service to the guests or have no obstacles in front of them. If they need anything or if they have any questions, I want them to feel they can come to me and I can take away any obstacles. That way they can just worry about making sure that they deliver great service.
All right. That's a very good response. And what does it mean to be successful in your role?
So for me, just to make sure that everybody feels that they, when they come to Lopez, they get the same service every single day. The same service that they are used to from 1978, they get it in 2019 every single day.
So, what are some of the biggest challenges that you face being a manager?
So one of the biggest challenges any restaurant manager faces is turnover. Turnover is in the restaurant industry is some of the highest because it's a job that it doesn't pay too well. You primarily make your living on tips. So some people they'll start it maybe the first time, so they'll quit quickly. So anytime you get a good person or you get a good training and then something goes wrong or something they don't like, they'll up and leave. And sometimes with very little notice. So pretty much making sure that you keep talent, you retain talent. That way, when they are trained and they do know how the job goes and how the restaurant expects them to be, they deliver the same service over and over. But if you're just dealing with a new person on month to month basis, it's hard to make sure that the guest gets what they're used to and what they have known to be the standard that they're used to.
All right, sounds good. And so, changing pace, how do you learn new information for your job?
So for me, I mean, just reading, staying up on industry standards, articles, I mean, learning from past experiences, sometimes going through walkthroughs of other restaurants, collaborations, leadership meetings. But I think a one benchmark meetings is when you go to other restaurants and just see how they do best practices. Because a lot of times, some people just want to hoard knowledge, but if you can get with other industry professionals, you can build upon their knowledge or what they do well, what you do well, and then you can take something from them, they can take something from you, and everybody gets a little bit better.
I totally agree. So, if you don't mind, how did you end up where you are today? What exactly brought you to this career path?
So I started in the Army when I first got out of high school. I didn't feel like going to college at the time. And I got out of the staff sergeant. I knew I wanted to stay in a position of leadership. I liked coaching. I liked mentoring young kids. So when I was looking to go to U of H, natural fit was School of Hotel Restaurant Management, and that gave me an opportunity to work with young kids and help mold them in their, because a restaurant job is usually typically a kid's starting job, and so for me to be able to help them and be a leader, be a manager, help with the restaurant, and also help young people, it was a natural fit for me.
That sounds great. Well, I just want to thank you again, Travis, for letting me interview you, and we enjoyed it, and I hope y'all enjoyed it as well. Thank you.